So I am going to introduce our next speaker tonight, or this afternoon, and it's someone that I have known for a few years who has dedicated himself to a number of areas. An area that I hold dear and I'm very passionate about and committed to is one concerning extraterrestrial life and contact, which is something that initially was what introduced me to Sterling Allan. But what has happened over the last several years that I've noticed is that he has developed a real passion, a real drive for new energy. Now, I don't know if that came out of his interest or some say obsession with extraterrestrial life. I mean, that's what happens to many of us. We kind of get obsessed with it and can't do other things and do crazy things like leave cushy professorships at different universities to do this work where, you know, people think you're some sort of kook because you believe that there's intelligent life out there. So anyway, I mean, it becomes an obsession for some of us. And at some point in that journey, you begin to contemplate, well, if they're coming from a long way out there, other parts of the galaxy, universe, well, how are they getting here? I mean, it must be big tank loads of oil, right? No, it doesn't quite work that way. So you become open to the possibility that they've developed new energy systems. So I don't know if this is something that opens Sterling up to this phenomenon, but I do know that over the last several years, he has become very passionate and very committed to the new energy field and has developed a number of websites, a number of initiatives concerning new energy, promoting the feasibility of them, helping new energy inventors and researchers and investigators come together. He's formed the New Energy Congress, new energy news services, a Wikipedia on new energy. He's really kind of done so much to help bring the new energy field to the attention of many people who are open to the idea that there is something out there that is far beyond coal, oil and gas, far beyond solar, wind, thermal, something far beyond all of these things. And they go by a number of names, but I'm not going to talk about that because I think that's really something that Sterling Allan is most equipped to be able to talk about. He is going to really do us a great service because he's going to do the hard work of ranking the 10 most interesting, feasible, exotic new energy systems, which is great for many of us who are still trying to kind of wrap our minds about what's out there, what's real, what's feasible, and what might be worth putting our resources into. So with that, it's my great pleasure to welcome Sterling Allan.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, everyone, aloha. I'm a Hawaii virgin. This is my first time, and my wife is here with me. It's the first time that she's been able to come to one of these presentations, so this is twice first time for me. I really appreciate being able to be here at a very interesting audience. I've been looking forward to this and put quite a bit of time into preparing this, even though I don't have time to put the time into it. It's a really crazy time for me right now with I'm actually building a renewable home myself, not just solar, wind, geothermal, tide, but earth bag technology. I'm actually going to go look at an earth bag home while I'm here on the island. The guy that got me interested in building an earth bag home is here in Kona. And he's going to show me a home that he built on Sunday. He didn't build it on Sunday. On Sunday. And so this is a very interesting time for us. But I hope that in giving this presentation, you'll have an appreciation for just how exciting this field of new energy is. And at a bare minimum, I hope you'll subscribe to our free newsletter. It comes in your email pretty much every day. We do put news on our website every day. Even when I'm at conventions like this, I find time to squeeze something in, something really cool that came in through an email or whatever, or something I prepared beforehand. But in the world of free energy technology, there are some really exciting things happening. Almost every day there's just something that just blow your mind. Now, let's see here if this is going to work for us. Oh, there we go. You can get this presentation online, so those of you who tend to like to take notes, you can ease off just a little bit. Of course, this isn't the kind of audience that takes rigorous notes. You kind of just are there and soak it in. That's great. But I do have the PowerPoint presentation. I'll put it up online so you can download it. This is a little saying that we have at the beginning of each of the little radio shows and whenever we do a presentation. And it's actually my mother-in-law's voice that you'll hear that says, imagine a world in which every home has its own power generator that obtains its energy in such a way that no fuel has to be added. Imagine every vehicle being able to run without ever stopping for fuel. Imagine each appliance having its own power source that never has to be recharged. That is the world of the future. Join with us as we track our progress towards such a world. Here's a little outline of what we'll be talking about. We'll just define what is free energy, the basis for determining this top 10 exotic free energy listing, some runners-up, or then we'll get to the top 10, and then we'll talk about some runners-up, and that's kind of the buffer. If we have some extra time, we'll fit in as many as we can. Then we'll talk a little bit about open sourcing, which I think is going to be the way to introduce these breakthrough technologies that really have a hard time breaking into the marketplace through the traditional routes because they get blocked up in the, whether it's in the patent process or getting a business team together, or there's so many hoops you have to jump through to go from concept and prototype to the marketplace. And open source, I think, is a way to break the logjam, and so we'll talk about that for a minute. When we live in very difficult times, economically and otherwise, and if we get too upset, we can always compare ourselves to the guys that live in these galaxies, where you've got an incoming planet, incoming star, two galaxies crashing together. Things could be worse than what we have here on planet Earth. So, in talking about an ideal energy supply, what is, if you can conceive just what would be the perfect device, it needs to be affordable, really affordable would be nice, renewable, non-depleting, you're not depleting the Earth's resources, it's something that's constantly rejuvenated, environmentally friendly, you're not destroying anything, leaving a zero footprint, continuous output. You know, solar's nice, but you know, when the sun goes down, there goes the solar, you have to have a battery backup, and sometimes you have extended days of no sun. And in Hawaii, actually, we get more full sun days in Utah than you do here in Hawaii. It's a lot cooler up there, but in fact, I did a little joke in my email to my family, because we're getting really cold temperatures in the mainland right now, and I was just kind of rubbing it in a little bit. We're going to Hawaii, and I went to weather.com, and the weather forecast for 10 days in Kona was 80, 81, 81, 81, 82, 81, 81, 81, 81. It was like, how boring can you get? I'm saying that facetiously, of course. It's really nice. But, you know, compared to the weather we're getting up there, where it's all over the charts. But continuous output, some of these devices that we'll be showing you do have that attribute. In fact, most of them do. They don't come and go with, you know, the wind comes and goes, but these are constant output. They just go and go and go and go. Load following. So, you know, if you've got a generator that's constantly putting out 5 kilowatts, at night you don't need that. But in the day when you're running a washer and dryer and, you know, you've got all these things going, your peak load, you want to have that full load. The ideal device would actually ramp up and ramp down exactly